So Tony Ferguson just called out Khabib Nurmagomedov to be a rival coach on the next season of The Ultimate Fighter, and I love this idea so much, and apparently so does Khabib, because he responded to the call out from Tony Ferguson and accepted. I beg of you, UFC employees, if you are watching this video right now, please do anything you possibly can to make this a reality, because this would be, in my opinion, the best pairing of coaches on The Ultimate Fighter that we may have ever seen in the history of the show. And I would love this so much. So any UFC employee watching, pay Khabib, pay Ferguson as much as you possibly can, because TUF is on right now and no one cares about it whatsoever. And no one has cared about The Ultimate Fighter for the past 5 years. It's a dead show. Please revive the show completely and give it a new lease of life with Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. I'm so excited about this possibly being a reality. I beg of you. I would watch every single episode. Let's get into how this new cycle started. And then at the midway point of this video, towards the end of this video, I'll get into some creative and imaginative ideas. Because I'll tell you this right now. Khabib Nurmagomedov loves a bit of Abu Dhabi. Okay? The Ultimate Fighter Fight Island. I'll get to that in a second. Let's start straight away with the call out of Tony Ferguson. He said on Ariel Helwani's show, I believe that when Khabib's dad said that we were supposed to compete, I believe that he believes that they were supposed to compete. I would love to be able to coach against him in The Ultimate Fighter. How about that? You know, the best man wins on the team. I guarantee my coaching is a lot better than yours, Khabib. Not a lot of people understand that. I built a team for a 12-fight win streak, and I can definitely build a team again. I have nothing personal against him, besides him running away from the word that's going to get me. It's a sort of global sneezing synchronization lockdown situation, and being a scared dude. Delusional Ferguson thinking Khabib was scared of him, but either way, but I gotta respect that family comes first. Jiu-jitsu, soccer, it doesn't matter what game we play. It would be cool to go out there, shake the dude's hand, squash some beef, and move on. And then Khabib responded out of nowhere and said, Tony, I like the idea about TUF. Call your bosses and let them make an offer. Make it happen. He also said if they don't have any ideas, we can have you over at Eagle FC. Not interested whatsoever in Eagle FC, but he plugged that in the tweet just to get it a little bit of promotion. In my opinion, what are we waiting for? What are we really waiting for? Pay Khabib and Ferguson $1 million each if that's what it means. Revive this show because it's dying. The last TUF coaches have been Whittaker versus Gastelum. Stipe versus DC, I believe, was before that. And that wasn't really too exciting of a show because they were so friendly with each other. And it wasn't too interesting of a show whatsoever. But it was okay compared to some of the other names that we've had. Alvarez versus Gaethje. Wasn't that big at the time. It was after Gaethje's debut win over Michael Johnson. Okay? We also had Whittaker versus Gastelum, as I've just mentioned. Ortega versus Volkanovski. That was terrible. And we've also just had Nunes versus Pena too. Terrible lineup of coaches over the past 5 years on TUF. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. The Ultimate Fighter Fight Island. In Abu Dhabi. Make it happen. You bring the best regional fighters from around the world in 2 different weight classes. Whatever weight classes you want those to be. Wherever the most talent is. Khabib can even get some of his boys on the show as well to get them into the UFC maybe. Who knows? Bring the best talent from around the world. Fly them to Fight Island. 10 men enter in each weight class. 12 men enter in each weight class. One of them leaves with a UFC contract. The Ultimate Fighter Fight Island. Khabib versus Ferguson. I'll do anything for it. What do you want me to do, UFC? How can you somehow fail this? You will pay them whatever it takes to make this happen. And revive the show. And then once that's done, I don't want no more boring coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. I want to get right back in there with another fun matchup on The Ultimate Fighter with more big names in the future, whoever those names might be. But this is what I need right now. Next year, on The Ultimate Fighter, Khabib versus Ferguson. Regardless what happens to Ferguson in the meantime. He could lose at the end of this year. He could win, which would make it way better, by the way. He could lose at the end of this year. I don't care. Khabib, Ferguson. Tough. First of all, I want to see Tony Ferguson coach people. Okay? Because if we've heard stories about Tony Ferguson's coaching habits, I mean, the tough contenders are going to have to watch themselves a little bit, because he might pick one of them up and slam them and break their ribs, as he boasted to Beneil Dariush. I broke one of my students' ribs. I want to see Tony Ferguson break the ribs of an aspiring UFC prospect and ruin their dreams on a show. And tell them that he did it because he loves them and wants them to get better and develop their conditioning. I want to see that. I want to see Tony Ferguson take these tough contenders through a Tony Ferguson-esque training routine with the Wing Chun dummies. I can imagine every episode of that show. I want to see Khabib Nurmagomedov come in as a coach and get a bit of an insight there, because clearly he's a decent coach himself. Let's get that going as well. I beg of you, UFC. Do anything. I want to see the coaches' challenges between them, a soccer match. I want to see a bit of basketball between them as well. They both done a bit of that as well. I want to see a table tennis match between Khabib and Tony Ferguson. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. An assault course, Khabib, Ferguson. I think it would be so wholesome, but there would be like an edge of competitiveness between them. And maybe even at the end of the show. Your grappling matches don't seem to get a lot of popularity. But if at the end of this, you could reignite Submission Underground, which has recently died out because of lack of interest. If you could reignite Submission Underground, and along with paying them for the show, you could tie in with their payment, or you want a grappling match at the end of this at Submission Underground in the main event, take the money. Make it a pay-per-view. People would pay to watch. I want to see all... I'm so excited by this information. I know the UFC are probably going to say this time next year, hey, so we saw that Khabib's interested in doing TUF, and Ferguson wants to do TUF, and they're both ready to coach against each other at TUF. But we're thinking that maybe we do Esparza versus Namajunas 3. Because that's the mindset the UFC has. They want to destroy their company for no reason. That's what I feel like recently anyway. Either way. Khabib, Ferguson, The Ultimate Fighter, the guest coaches appearances. You could have DC come in for an episode and do a bit of a wrestling routine on the show. That would bring in some viewers as well. You could have Tony Ferguson bring in Freddie Roach and bring in some oddball characters that he has around his gym to come in and teach some people some weird stuff. You could even have Khabib bring in Islam Makhachev on the show and get him a little bit of promotion and have him do a sort of day of training with some of the fighters as well. Like, let's make this happen. Khabib, Ferguson, TUF, Fight Island. Fight Island. Fight Island. You know? I want like a swimming relay race. I don't care what the challenges are. A skydiving situation. Jet ski stuff. Okay? Around Abu Dhabi, Fight Island, Yas Island. Okay? If they're not fighting anytime soon, because they don't have to fight at the end of the show, so you don't really have to worry about any of them getting any silly little injuries. Have them in the go-karts. You know what I mean? Not go-karts, but in the go-karts, essentially, but the really high-paced ones around Abu Dhabi. The indoor arenas. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want in my life. I need this to happen. I won't allow anything else to happen on The Ultimate Fighter in the next season. This would save it forever. Now, there are some other things that you could do with The Ultimate Fighter moving forward. You can do stuff like, I wanted them to do Covington Masvidal, but we got it a little bit earlier than the show came out, so whatever. But we need guys like Covington on there. We need guys that are really going to sort of bring that character in there. Like maybe a Sean O'Malley season versus a Piotr Yan. And have them beef back and forth. O'Malley versus Yan. If O'Malley beats Pedro Munoz and Yan wins a fight and O'Malley wants a title elimination bout and Yan hasn't quite earned a title shot yet for whatever reason, Yan O'Malley next season of TUF. If they're not going to do Khabib Ferguson for whatever reason, they can't afford it, I want at least some interest in the show. No more women's TUF seasons. No one cares. No one cares. Okay? Stock up your talent. Bring it to the show. The people that are on the show are going to get a massive spotlight on them as well. So even if you think UFC, I don't want to bring Khabib on The Ultimate Fighter because then we'd be promoting Khabib. And he's no longer a part of the UFC. And that would be promoting people at Eagle FC instead. I don't care. You're bringing in Khabib so that his name value can shine an additional spotlight on those that are underneath him as contenders on the show. And those contenders are eventually going to be in the UFC if they keep winning. I beg of you, UFC. Anything for this. The Ultimate Fighter. Khabib versus Ferguson. Fight Island. I want it on Fight Island as well. That's a big deal. That would shake the world. Like, if I was the UFC, I'd see that tweet this morning and go, light bulb, Fight Island, Abu Dhabi, Khabib, Ferg. Like, I'd just put it all together in my head the way I have in this video right now. So, if you're a UFC employee watching, pay them whatever it costs. I beg of you. Pay them whatever it costs. And if you're Khabib watching this, or a Khabib fan that can harass Khabib online or in person, don't have Khabib try and turn this into a business move. Like, I'll only come on if you promote Eagle FC, or I'll only come on if a guy from Eagle FC can come over, because they know the UFC is not going to do that. So please, if you're a Khabib fan, a person around Khabib, tell Khabib to allow this to happen. It'll be fun. There won't be a fight between them at the end, so whatever, but we could have maybe a grappling match. I don't even need the grappling match at the end. I just need to see these two on a coaching show together, taking jabs at each other, and Khabib calling Tony Ferguson, you crazy guy, brother, you crazy, crazy guy, you know, and Tony Ferguson with his woo in the hallways of the TUF show. I beg of you. This would reignite the series forever. It really would. And I hope it doesn't go on a decline after this if they do choose to do this, but I know they won't. I have a sneaky suspicion that they don't want to continue The Ultimate Fighter. That's my opinion. You don't put Nunes and Pena as the main coaches of The Ultimate Fighter. You don't put Volkanovski or Ortega as the lead coaches of The Ultimate Fighter, or Whittaker versus Gastelum, or Alvarez versus Gaethje. You don't put these guys as the coaches of The Ultimate Fighter if you want it to succeed as a show. You just simply don't. And if you go on Instagram right now and you look at some of the comments on the posts from where they post about The Ultimate Fighter between Pena and Nunes too, if you're a social media manager for the UFC and you're making these business decisions, how aren't you reading these comments about your show? You know? Get your popcorn ready. Episode 3 of TUF 30 is streaming now on ESPN+. The comments. Hell nah. What a draw. Yawning face. Tony time, one of the comments. People are talking about the Ferguson on TUF instead of the TUF that's actually on right now. No one asked for this. Episode 3 didn't even know it was out at all. We need Tony versus Khabib next. Who to F cares? Wait, the show already started? Holy shit, Lamau. Popcorn question mark. Laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, skull emoji. Pena really champ? Lol. Gotta be the worst season to date. Like, no one cares. Stop hating, y'all. It's not that bad this year. Some fucking soy boy trying to defend the women again. Like, read your comments from your audience. No one likes this season. People want this. So if you're watching this video, like it. Get it out there. Share it. Try and get a UFC employee to see this video. Next TUF season, Khabib Ferguson, Abu Dhabi, Fight Island TUF. 12 men enter from each division. 1 leaves with a UFC contract. And the losers of that TUF show, Dana White, this will bring you around as well. You've given them the spotlight on The Ultimate Fighter. The losers of that TUF show, they can go in as some of the fucking contestants for Dana White's Contender Series. Maybe not if they go out in the first round. Maybe some of the guys in the semi-finals. There's going to be a lot of guys in the semi-finals. In the quarterfinals of The Ultimate Fighter show to actually make it to television in the first place. If they don't make it on the show, and they don't get to the finals and win and get themselves a TUF contract like 2 of them will, hey, put them on the Contender Series against some up-and-comers on the regional scene and see if they can earn their way into the UFC that way as well. That way you give them the spotlight on TUF, you bring them over to the Contender Series and give them even more spotlight, then you've got a big-name prospect coming up in the UFC with a ton of audience behind him, engaged and ready, and he's already been promoted before he even gets to the UFC. Make it happen immediately. I just want to see them having fun. I want to see the two of them squash the beast, having some wholesome interactions, and who knows, maybe they still have beef. Maybe there's an argument or two about some things. Maybe someone doesn't like the way someone sort of brushed them off as a threat in an actual fight with each other. I can see that happening. I can see Ferguson prodding like, you know you don't want that in the jiu-jitsu. And Khabib saying, you crazy guy, brother. I tap you one round, brother. And then all of a sudden, Tony Ferguson's got problems. And there's beef. And there's confrontation. Make it happen. Like and subscribe. See you later. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. Goodbye.